This is the gear and kit I used in a short film I made called Drone Mother. I'll leave the link here and in the description. Starting off, it's a Alice pack. This is a vintage 1980 U.S. military Alice pack. On the outside, you can see here on the left, I've got a canteen in a World War II canteen cover. Got the matching setup over here. This has the NBC filter for gas mask. On the bottom, so you can see that I've got a Thermarest Ridgeline mat. You'll see me use that in the video. In the pockets here, what do we got? Got a Baco Laplander. Great little folding saw. Super lightweight. Love it. That's that way if in the video you'll see I get into a little blind, and I actually use that off camera to trim it up. Here, got an MRE heater. You know, they usually just add water to it, add your MRE, pack it in its little cardboard box it came with, or hide it under something. Anyway, in about 10 minutes you've got warm chow. You stick your MRE in here. This is a bag of wet wipes, very important. I've got a heating. These are called Esbit stoves. World War II, they were called Esbit stoves. It's a great little stove that uses these gel fuel tabs. You simply light those on fire, set your cup or canteen, steel on top of this, and with 2 of the tabs, you can bring water to a boil pretty quickly. Got a 100% beeswax candle. Great for light. Great for lube, right? So if you need to get this beeswax, it can be used once it's heated up as, you know, a medicinal. Can be used for all kinds of things. I like these bungee cords. Ultra light. Just another pair of hands, really. So I always keep one of these bungee cords in there. You can see I've retroed this Alice pack. It now has buckles. The original system that it came with is great, but it was cutting into my gear. It was old, so I replaced them with the buckles. Here I've got, this is 1/4 inch. I think it's 1,800 pound. Real strong. Basically, some people call it monkey tape. If you can see that, it's just a flat, square tape rope. And this can be used for a million different things, but real strong and lightweight. So I've always got that on the side. Here I've got a grenade pouch. On the side, I've got a little roll of Gorilla Tape. Here's my little skeleton. That guy goes with me everywhere. It's good luck. On the side here, in the MOLLE webbing, basically, it's kind of like seatbelt straps. Anyway, I've got a Mora Garberg. Beautiful knife. It's the Mora Garberg Black Carbon. And inside this sheath, I retroed it a long time ago, and I use this little pouch in the front. You can see that. That holds a ferrocerium rod. Oh, but you can see this one. This is, I think, 8 years old. Can you see the wear on that? How it's all deformed? I use bay lights to pick these up. Once they get going, they give off a real nice spark. And they're inexpensive. I always get the 6" by 1/2 inch. But look at that. This thing's been used hundreds of times. Still going strong. Love it. Bay light. That's the name of that. And Mora. This is the Mora Garberg Carbon Black. And I think you can pick these up with the sheath now for $89.99. Highly recommend this knife. Bulletproof. It's full tang. Great knife. Comes razor sharp with a 90-degree edge. So the ferro rod lives inside of this little modified sheath that I have for it. Up top, always bug spray. I like this rappel. Here's a hank of 550 cord. This is, I'm 6 foot this way, so this is probably 20 pulls of that. You know, what can't you do with cordage? At one time, the entire world was held together with cordage. So important to have that. Let's get into the main body here. Flip up the lid. Here in a Ziploc, I've got an extra pair of wool military gloves. And you'll see these Ziplocs used a lot, even though you're going to see I've got a waterproofing bag. Just going that extra level with underwear, socks, you know, anything really valuable to you that you need to stay dry, put it in a little Ziploc bag of its own, even if it's going inside of a waterproofing bag. In the video, you see I take a break, and I've got a U.S. military issue poncho. The only difference about this one is that on each one of the corners, I've got a 6 foot length of paracord that enables me to set it up real quick. And to stow it, I just, you know, wrap it around, good to go. Love these ponchos. My first dry bag here. I've got valuable clothing that I want to stay dry. When I was shooting this video, it was, the high for the day I think was 48, and then at night it got down into the teens. So inside of this dry bag, I have a nice pair of Gore-Tex gloves with leather. Very important if you're working around fire to have those leather inseams, right? Leather palms. Got a beautiful military issue merino wool scarf. And these are the official issue ones here. And they open, so you can use them as a little hand warmer. Get your hands in there. Very important. Two pairs of wool socks. It's all about your feet, right? Wet, cold feet's going to lead to big problems for you. If you lose your feet, you've got nothing. You can no longer function. You can't move. So your feet health is very important. 2 extra pairs of wool socks. I've got another pair, so I've got 3 pairs on me at all times. Here I've got a balaclava, just a real lightweight nylon one. It's really for warmth, but obviously you can use it to conceal your identity. So all that stuff lives inside of this dry bag. Next up, we've got, this is called a waterproofing bag. It's by a company called Sea Line. And these are great because it has this little valve here. So you'll see I'll open it and release the air. And inside of here, we've got our sleep system. The U.S. military Gore-Tex bivy, bulletproof. And here we have the patrol bag from the MSS sleep system. You've got to make sure that you keep your sleep system, your gloves, your wool socks, your hats, the crucial stuff to keep that body core temperature going has got to be waterproofed. I recommend those Sea Line waterproofing bags. This is a drum liner that can be used to put down onto the ground as a vapor barrier. And you can also use these to waterproof, okay? But they're not 100%, not like that. And even that, let's say that bag's 99.9%. Anyway, good to carry one of these on you at all times. Up top, there's a little door that opens up into the lid of the Alice pack. And here I have a map. Good to have a map on you. I always keep an emergency road flare on me. If you need to get a fire going in the worst conditions, pouring rain, cold, wind, right here, this is your answer, okay? You will get a fire going with this in pretty much any situation I have. So pick one of these up. Road flare, emergency fire. Back of this Alice pack. You can see it got the original frame. These are pace beads. So when you're navigating, you know where you're at. And here is you can see it. There's an American flag rolled up in there. That way, if you take, the hill, you can hang this up and let people know who you are. This is my LBE. It's a split rig. And this is pieced together from lots of different manufacturers, lots of different companies. It's ultra light. I'm loving it. And it's basically kind of a rip-off, I think, of Spiritus Systems, the thing. So it's got the panels. If I open it up, see that. Starting on my right side, I've got a dump pouch here at the bottom. Very important as you're moving, you want to gather some dry tinder. Good to have a dump pouch. Here I've got a little grenade pouch, and that holds my compass. You'll see that is dummy corded. Very important to dummy cord your things to your person, okay? Because if you lose your compass, where are you going? Very important. Here I've got a little mini VS17. This is a panel that I actually make. I have a little company. So great little signal panel. Ultra light. This weighs not even 2 ounces. But you can see that sticking out like a sore thumb. So a little mini VS17. Here I've got a little IFAC pouch that you can see I heavily modified. And here I've got the mother drone that was used in the video. I've got a little, what's called a boo-boo pouch. It's just a real small medical pouch, right? First aid. So this has Band-Aids and such. You'll see that in the film. Got a hot hands. This one's a toe warmer. Well, you got hand phalanges, hand toes. Good to have. Got a tourniquet, a Cat 7. And I've got foot powder. Again, taking care of your feet, very important. Kit is built, the rip-off from Spiritus Systems. On the back here, it has a place to hold magazines. So here, I have two 223 5.56 magazines. Here and here, that's a pound each. In this little small one that holds basically Glock magazines, I've got a chem light, our water bottle pouch, which this one's going away. This was a nightmare. Tried to film a scene with it, simply taking it out and putting it back in. Well, it has no structure. So the putting it back in took multiple takes. I think I cut it. But again, this one is dummy corded down, if you can see that. It's basically just got a Canadian jam knot here around the top, and it's tied off to the LBE, so that way we don't lose it. On the back, this is another copy of a Spiritus Systems product. It's a rip-off. Now this, what it is to buckle on itself up top. It's like a dry bag. Well, the way I've got it configured, I was missing the male, so I've got 2 females. So I had another pack, and I ripped this one off that other pack and temporarily wound it through, so I've got closure. So you do what you can. But this is a great pack. Opens up, it's a butt pack basically. And in here I've got my gun cleaning kit. Okay, so all my little tools, real lightweight. And I've got a nice windproof Gore-Tex jacket with a hood. Ultralight, this weighs, I believe, 1.5 pounds. Good to have on you. Layer up, keep that wind off you, especially when I was shooting that video. It was up here, and it got windy. So anything you can do to block that wind is going to keep you going. In here you can see I've got it's just a sustainment pouch, military issue, and I've marked a cross on it so people know that this is medical. Because the way the IFAK works, right, is that you've got it on you because you've been hurt. Well, somebody runs up to help you. They're looking for your IFAK to help you with your gear, right? So they're not coming up to you and using their IFAK on you. Your IFAK's for you. So when someone finds you to help you, they use your gear. Anyway, here's some toilet paper. And then this is my IFAK. In here I've got trauma shears. I've got a spare tourniquet. I've got pressure dressings, chest seals, everything's here. I'm trying to remember the kid's name, but I built this off of his expertise. Prep Medic, I believe. Excellent. And his buddy Skinny Medic, who sells all the products. Build these yourself. You can do it a lot cheaper and with much more high quality gear. You don't want to be getting that junk that you find on Amazon. Trust me. Up here, it's a modification I've made. I just take these heavy duty plastic bags and put 2 pieces of Gorilla Tape, one on each side. So that way when I've got my gloves on, I can easily access it, pull it. Well, that one ripped off, but hey, I'm in. Great way to get into your IFAK quickly. Those little tabs, rip it open. On to my left side, got another rip off of a Spiritus System pack. In here I've got my bug net. I've got my Princeton Tech headlamp, which has a little straight to red filter on the front. I don't know if you can pick that up. It's a little plastic piece on the front, so you know you're always on red. Definitely recommend putting a little bit of glue, anything sticky to get this sticky, because what I found from the factory is that it falls down. The test I did was basically taking it and bumping it on something hard, and it did fall. So I got behind it and just put a little bit of sticky glue, I think it was rubber cement, to help keep that up. Because the goal is you don't want to be flashing around a white light. This is a digital rangefinder. It's passive, so with the batteries on, you've got your digital rangefinder, but with it off, it works just like a binocular or a monocular. So it's 2 for 1. Great piece of kit. Again, sensitive electronics, so it's in a heavy-duty plastic bag, sealed up. In another plastic bag, I have a night vision monocular by a company called Carson. Now, when I got these, I believe I paid $69.99 for it. And I think last time I checked to send a buddy to get one, they were like $149. Well, it's well worth its money. It's weight in gold. It takes AAAs, and it gives you night vision, little monocular. Beautiful little tool. Here up front, I've got my Baofeng. You can see it here. And I've got that routed with a simple antenna coming up. And then I've got my push to talk, also routed right into the front of my strap on my LBE. On the back here, you can see that I've got 2 more magazines. They're not here because I've been shooting since I made that video. And then here in the extra little pouch, I've got my Leatherman, very important. And that is all for my LBE. My outer layer for this movie was a US military Gore-Tex parka. This is the desert camo, Iraq War era. Love these. So it's windproof, it's waterproof, and in the temperatures I was in, it was totally appropriate. Works great. Love it. My gaiters, essential piece of kit, especially here in Oregon. You can see how wet it is right now. But the big thing too is this forest floor where I shot that film, between, what you see on the surface and the ground, that's about 3 feet of just dead stuff laying on the ground. So think of that. This is about 3 feet, and this is protecting you, keeping you dry, keeping things out of your boots. So I definitely recommend to always be wearing gaiters. Knee pads. It's amazing how many times you end up kneeling down. So you can see how much wear and tear these have on them. These are by Alta. Excellent knee pads. Very important. These are mid-size boots by Solomon. Now these are extremely expensive. I could never afford these, but I found them at Goodwill for $5. So very lucky. Sturdy, You know, when you're putting all that weight, I think this kit with all my stuff and the weapon, you've got 80 pounds on you. And all that weight's pushing down to your ankles. So it's really important that you have some sort of a boot that has this ankle support versus just a running shoe. That's just a recipe for disaster because you're going to be rolling all the time. You're going to break your ankle. So very lucky to have these Solomons. The rifle I used in the film is a Palmetto State Armory AR. I build these myself. It's a lot cheaper and it's fun. You should learn how to build one because it's important that you know how they work. I've got a Viking Tactical strap, and you may have seen a video I did on this. You can see that. It's my poor man's light, okay? I've got a cap on it right now, but I basically picked this up a long time ago. I use this weightlifter's tape, okay? It's a real spongy, soft tape, and basically I just lay the light on it and then wrap it around, and you've got a light. I mean, it's not perfect, but it allows me to have light real cheap. You know, what happened to me is I kept getting the mounts and all the stuff, and this rifle would fall and hit something, boom, it breaks it. Well, there's 50 bucks. So this is an easy, quick way to do it, and it works. Up top, I've got a red dot sight, and that's about it. Pretty basic. My helmet is just a cheap bump helmet. I picked these up for $29.99 on eBay. Works great for me. On the side, I've got some fake airsoft Peltors ear protection with the plug that it comes with, and they work totally fine. Pretty amazing. On the front, I've got a mount for my night vision goggles, which I don't have anymore. On the top, I've got a little AR strobe. On the side, I've got this little monstrosity flashlight that I've mounted to the side of the ear protection. And inside, I've got a Team Wendy liner. Real lightweight. This camo top that you see, this is a product that I make, my company. It's called the Quick Dread. And it's a real high-end nylon ripstop scrim, right? Camo netting. And then I add on this gauze. Those are the dreads. So we break up the outline. Real simple, real cheap and lightweight. Important to always be protecting your noggin. And finally, my gloves. These say Exo Ronclad. Don't know where I got them. I've had them for like 5 years. Love them. Leather palms, real flexible, and they're real warm. So that is all the gear and kit I used in my short film, Drone Mother. I'll leave the link in the description down below. Hope you check it out. Appreciate you.